Data from the Census of Population and Housing conducted in Australia every 5 years clearly shows the changing patterns of religious adherence in Australia from 1945 to the present. In this graph, we can see an overview of the percentage changes of the Australian population identifying with Christianity, other religions, and no religion through this time period. Christianity was reasonably stable until the 1970s, followed by a steady decline over the next 40 years and an accelerating rate of decline in the last 10 years. There has been a consistent rise in other religions and no religion, with an accelerating increase of no religion in the last 10 years. Australia is also becoming more religiously diverse with over 120 faiths, reflecting high rates of immigration and increased cultural diversity and continuing changes in social attitudes and beliefs. Let's look at the data that shows religious growth. Religious growth has mostly occurred outside of Christianity, especially in religions where high rates of immigration from non-European countries of origin have increased their populations. As a whole, this category has more than doubled in the last 20 years. In the 2021 census, Islam, Hinduism, and Sikhism were the main contributors to the increase in other religions. Islam grew from 2.6% of the Australian population in 2016 to 3.2% in 2021, a 0.6% jump. While it's a tiny proportion of the overall Australian population, this is a huge growth since the 1976 census, when only 0.3% of the Australian population identified as Muslim. This shows the trend has been upward growth in the Muslim community over the last 40 to 50 years. Hinduism has seen impressive growth to 1.5 times the size it was in 2016, mainly due to immigration trends, jumping from 1.9% in 2016 to 2.7% in 2021. Only 0.1% of the population identified as Hindu in the 1986 census, so although 2.7% sounds tiny, it is evident of a considerable rise over the past 35 years. Sikhism jumped from 0.5% in the 2016 to 0.8% in 2021, so while the numbers are still tiny, they've doubled their population in under a decade, resulting in a trend of intense upward growth. Christianity has been steadily declining over the past 50 years and saw a significant decline of 1 million followers from 12.2 million, 52.1% in 2016 to 11.1 million, 43.9% in 2021, an increasing rate of decline at 8.2% with reduced numbers across all denominations. Catholicism and Anglicanism are the largest Christian denominations in Australia, and in 2021, 78% of the drop in Christian affiliation came from these two faiths. Catholicism decreased from 22.6% in 2016 to 19.9% in 2021, a drop of 2.7% in 5 years and 7.1% in the past 25 years. Anglicanism fell even harder, with the largest drop in number of all religious denominations from 3.1 million, 13.3%, down to 2.5 million, 9.8%, a drop of 3.5% from 2016 to 2021, and a staggering drop of almost 30% since 1947, when the percentage of the population was recorded at 39%. The trend here is undoubtedly a huge decline in Christian adherence. Further evidence of this is the Presbyterian faith, which dropped from 2.3% to 1.6%, and the most substantial drop in the Uniting Church of 3.7% to 2.6%. While different factors have influenced these declines in numbers, we can conclude that the trend of Christianity is significantly declining adherence. It is no coincidence that with these drop in numbers, we can see a huge increase in the number of people selecting no religion in the census. This has been a trend for decades, with the numbers doubling in the last 15 years and is accelerating and expected to continue rising in the future. This is mainly due to secularization, the decline of traditional religion, the growth of New Age religions and non-religious schools of thought such as humanization and agnosticism, and denominational switching. 2021 saw a massive increase, with 38.9%, nearly 10 million Australians indicating they had no religion, up from 30.1% in 2016. These extraordinary numbers, considering only 0.3% of the Australian population selected no religion in the 1947 census.